Chat, where we sip and we chat about very important topics. So today, me and my co-host, Miss Nexie, welcome.
Hello, Miss Marlene. Hello, chat. How's everybody
Yeah,
doing?
awesome, awesome. So glad to be here at the Sip and Chat. And before we get started, you know what I gotta ask you? You you hear that? Yeah. So
Yes.
what are you sipping on?
Okay, let me show you. Let me show you. You hear that?
Uh-oh.
Just regular bottle water.
Do I hear that? Do I hear
Yes. Just a regular plain bottle water because I was rushing out and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so late." But my little guy is with dad, so I was rushing. I just grabbed a bottle of water and I said, "That's gonna be today's drink."
gonna be today's drink? You know, Miss Next to Me, you are twins.
I can hear that.
Yeah, we're twins because the only difference is mine has ice in it and yours.
Ooh. Mine is in a plastic bottle.
So, Miss Nexie, today on the Sip and Chat, we I wanted to talk about coping with stress because there's so much going on in today's world, society, and so much going on with just people in general that people are just losing it because they're not coping well with stress.
You have no idea how that topic relates to me right now. You have no idea, Miss Marlene. I haven't had this amount of stress and I haven't had to cope with it in so long that it's really getting me up there in the I just want to grab a pillow and scream type of thing. Or I just want to close my door and not open it again. That's how
Let's
bad it
Miss
is.
Nexie, go ahead, have your scream. Go get your pillow.
Oh my god.
I welcome that because if we don't have safe spaces and places to say, I'm really stressed out, I'm really going through things. And I think that's the reason why so many people have vices that they get into, like drinking and, mine.
Gambling?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
Yep.
um, So, Miss Nexie, I wanted for us to talk a little bit about coping with stress. First, before we get into that, I gotta say that stress is one of those things in life that is so common and is something that we cannot avoid. It's a part of our day-to-day life, but it's important that we develop some strategies that is going to help us to manage that stress and to have a better overall well-being because that's what life is about, having a good quality of life. So that's what I wanted this sip and chat to be about, improving the quality of our lives.
Yeah, and you're right. There's no avoiding it. There's no way you can say, you know what, today is gonna be a stress-free day, or this existence of mine and this life of mine is gonna be stress-free. Nothing's gonna get me going. I am gonna have a wonderful day. Everybody's gonna be nice that I encountered today. Everybody's gonna be happy and pleased with everything I do. And there's gonna be no traffic, right? I'm not gonna be late to anything. The lines of everywhere I go is gonna be short. There will be no stressors today. It was just gonna be a peaceful existence.
Yeah, that's
And that's the first mistake you make.
one of those things like when they do that wrong.
Yep, exactly. That's when you hear that, uh, someone up there laughing and saying, "You're funny. You got jokes on you." Let me show you what I'm talking about when it comes to stressors. I have had a very interesting couple of days, Miss
Mm,
Marlene.
please
You
tell what
know,
you want to share.
oh,
We're all
Miss
sense.
Mar I am sharing, Miss Marlene. Okay, I'm doing it. I'm not gonna. You're not gonna stop me. Nobody can stop me. I am doing this. So, a very interesting couple of days. Something going on with a friend of mine from back home. Um, Unfortunately, is a custody issue, right? Between him and his ex-wife, and these are young kids that are going through this. So this person had to come all the way here to pick up his child, who he has, custody of via, judge and everything. And he has been, blocked from communications. The little guy, small kid, and he had to come all the way here to take the child back.
Oh
Um,
my.
yeah, he was supposed to visit the other parent, and all of a sudden, that parent decided to keep the kid without, any acknowledging of the law that hey, you cannot do that, right? And why am I here in the middle? Because this person cannot say no when it comes to children and helping
I know. You love
them.
the kids.
I love children. I don't like people to be using them. I don't like them to be put in the middle of our grown-ups' problems. Why do we do this? Why do we continuously, undermine their well-being and their emotional, their not just now, but the scars that are going to be left from this whole ordeal? Because what child wants to be in front of a judge? Okay, what child wants to be taken by detectives because it's called a kidnapping, right? So tell me, what child at such a young age wants to be scared to death in front of this grown-ups and grown-ups problems when it's nothing to do with him? So this person is here. I offer my house. You're welcome. You have a place to stay, don't worry, because that was the biggest issue. And because of the language barrier, I help him interpret, from one language to the next. And so yesterday was the first day that I got to have them here at home. My little
Oh,
guy is with dad, thank God. So they have his room. But the child is in distress because now he's like, why are you taking me from my other parent? I don't want to be here. I want my other parent. So it was a big ordeal. And dad was like beside himself. And I said, you know what? Go to the living room. Let me be with him for a minute. Let me talk to him. Um, so I'm talking, and he's crying. I'm trying to talk to him, and you can tell that he's so scared. He's so scared because he has no idea what's happening, because he was taken from school, given to the other parent without the reason why, because they cannot discuss this with him. Judge
wow.
said, do not talk about the case at all with the child. It has nothing to do, even though it has everything to do with him. You do not discuss this with him because you shouldn't, right? So he's here. I'm talking. All of the sudden, he's laughing because I'm telling him all kinds of crazy things and joking and this and that. And then he says, I showed him something, and then he started playing. And then he started, asking dad, hey, look at this. Look how I did this. And he started calming down, right? We had
Okay.
dinner, and then they had to make a phone call to mom at 7 o'clock. So it's funny because he's crying at first. Now he's okay with that. Then mom calls, and he's crying a little, blah 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, like 5 minutes, there's no tears out. 5, 10 minutes on the phone call, and then he says, okay, okay, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll talk to you tomorrow, whatever. He hangs up and then he goes, "Hey, let me show him dad. Dad, let me show you this." And I'm like, you little hypocrite. Now you're all into the game and it's okay. So it happened then again at night when he's like, I want to go home, I want to go to my mom, I want to sleep. So it was a little bit going. And then today they had to, he's supposed to take him to school. So I had to kind of show him where that was. And we left at 7 a.m. And then in between work and all of that, um, text and this, and how do I get here? And how do I get there? And how do I do this? And I'm like, oh my God. So I took
Yeah.
lunch. I took a 2-hour lunch and I said, I have to go, translate and make sure everything is okay because, he's kind of like, I don't know what to do. So we go to the, place that he has to go and he's talking and this lawyer comes in as a counselor for the child, as the one that is protecting his rights. And he's nervous and translating everything. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta go because I gotta go back to work. He's like, okay, I'm fine here now. I know how to get back. And then calls me later and says, hey, guess what? I gotta go back at 4 because they gotta talk to him. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh no, that's too much.
And then I said, I just got back at work. Okay, so I continue work and then I go back. And my stress level at this point, Miss Marlene, is so great, so huge that I started feeling like an anxiety attack was gonna come because I couldn't breathe. I felt overwhelmed. I felt like I wanted you know, to throw up and I started feeling like fainting, like really dizzy. And I realized I've been going since 7 a.m. this morning. I haven't had anything to eat.
Mm.
And 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 I'm sweating. And then I told my friend, I said, give me a minute, please. And I called my therapist and I explained to him, and he gave me something, something to read. He sent me something. We talked for like 15 minutes over the phone. And he's like, okay, calm down and what's going on. And I explained to him, and then he's like, okay, go lay down, on your side, and try to breathe and try to calm yourself and relax. And because I was getting very shaky, I was getting to the point of like, I can't do this and I can't breathe. And I'm thinking, why am I going through this? It has nothing to do but with me, right? But with these people. But then, what I had to understand is that in the middle of all this mess is a little child that I always try to protect. Children are just my
That's
weakest point and my
yeah.
specialty, right? And so I'm thinking this boy is crying, he's so distressed, he's so like not knowing what's going on. And going to school, he was feeling sick. He was feeling like, I don't feel good, I don't feel good. And I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna go now because they need to counsel, they need to talk to him. And they were there like for 2 hours, and then they're like, okay, we're ready to go. And I'm like, okay, I'll be there in a minute. So I had to go pick him up and then take him home. And the freeway is crazy. So I had to literally take breaks. By the time I got to them, it had been over an hour and some minutes because I had to stop every so often because I will get blurry eye, like blur vision, and I will get that anxiety again. So I will have to pull over and I had to go on the streets because I was like, I'm afraid to go on the freeway, and cause an accident because of how I'm feeling. And then I had to calm down and then breathe and then drive,
Oh,
10 minutes again, and then I'm feeling that anxiety again, pull over. And I'm like, there's no need for me to feel this way. What am I doing to myself? But then I'm thinking, it's not that, it's just that the injustice of that this was so unnecessary, Miss Marlene, because there was a court order in place. She had no rights to keep this child and put him through everything that this boy is going through just because of her selfishness, because for her the law doesn't exist, right? And so
mm.
all of that was messing with me. And once I got there, I was like, oh my God, my sip and chat. And then So yeah, that has been my day. So I picked him up and he was a little teary-eyed, but he saw me and he got really happy. And he's like, "Oh, you're here." And then dad is like, "Oh, this is the happiest I've seen him all day." And we're talking, and we were coming home and he was talking to me very happy. He had like red eyes and everything, but he sounded more calm than he did when I first saw him in the morning. And
Oh,
you got to go back and take him. They got to go back tomorrow and take him again to his therapy. And so tomorrow I told dad, You got the car, you have a license, you know how to drive, you because he's been here before." He's like, "Yeah, I know how to drive." I said, "Then you take the car, you do your thing, and I gotta work because this week my little guy is with dad." I said, "I have to, and I have to step back because I'm getting very, very anxious and I'm getting very stressed." I said, "So I need to step back a little bit so that I can take care of me." And he says, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. And I'm gonna ask someone to, do the translation for me, to interpret for me. Don't worry, the lawyer says they have someone, and the counselor speaks Spanish, so I'm okay. I can do this." I said, "Okay, good." Because I need to relax. I need to not worry about this right now. And he said it was okay. So
oh.
that I'm telling you, Miss Marlene, when I read the title of this sip and chat, I was like, "Oh my God, Miss Marlene."
And I didn't
Thank you.
ask if I did this, guys. I just make the sip and chat. So I was like, this, you know, we could talk about this for a little bit. No idea what you were going through, Miss Nexie.
And the thing is, I had to like pretty much use everything that I've learned to cope with the stress, to kind of like lower my anxiety level. And I had to use all of those tools today, the tools that I've been given, and appreciate even more the fact that I did my therapy, and I have learned these techniques so that I can calm myself down, and that I have the wisdom to know that, hey, even though I want to help you, I can't, because it's too triggering for me what this boy is going through, because I already went through that with my son, with my oldest son. And I think that's why it was so triggering, Miss Marlene, because we went through the same thing for 14 years with my eldest son.
Oh my. Oh, that's a lot.
That's
But
a mouthful.
the most important thing, Miss Nexie, in having this conversation and coping with stress and what you're going through is to let everybody know that when you are dealing with very stressful situations, that there's help.
Yes.
In the moment, you may not feel like there's help. You just will feel like my heart's racing, I'm anxious, I'm nauseous, my mind is racing. I feel like I'm gonna pass out. It's just I want to scream at the top of my lungs. That's how you feel in that moment. But there's some things that we can do. And this is the thing that most of us forget when we're really stressed out. You're all anxious.
Yep.
And the thing that you need to do is take a deep breath.
Exactly.
A deep breath. Take a deep.
Exactly.
And that's the thing that I know I don't do when I'm really like all the way on 10. I'm like, and I'm getting myself all rattled, and I'm like, Marlene, calm down. I have to even tell myself, calm down, like, calm down, take a deep breath. You have to remind yourself it's gonna be okay. Okay. You know,
Exactly.
yeah, but in the moment, you don't feel like you can calm down because you're only thinking about what is stressing you out.
Exactly, Miss Marlene. And today I'm telling you, I haven't felt like this in a very, 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 and I mean very long time, years since I've had the feeling of not being able to control the level of stress and anxiety that I'm feeling. And I wasn't like, at first I was like, oh yeah, come here, stay with me, no big deal. Yeah, whatever. If I can help you in anything. But I wasn't thinking, hey, this is gonna trigger you because you went through this for 14 years. There were 14 long years of courtrooms and judges and letters from the other party, and then the stress level of, oh my god, we got to go through this again, what now, right? And every time the mailman came for a long time, I was like, oh my god, what letter are we going to get this time? What didn't we do right this time, right? So I didn't think that all those thoughts and all the helplessness and the trauma and all the things that my son went through, I didn't think it was going to trigger those memories back. And going into the courtroom and seeing, the building where the therapy was being done to this little boy, and seeing him so stressed out and crying because he doesn't know where he is in this building, the same face my son and the same cries my son used to have. And I'm like, oh my god, and all that is what triggered it in the morning, because I saw that and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. But I was already there. And I had already promised I was going to help him, because he's not from here. Right. And so I was like, oh my God, I got to do it because I already promised. And he has nobody else but me. But then I'm like, but I have to keep my distance now because it's getting way, way too stressful. And I got to be able to function. I cannot go there anymore. I cannot go to the dark place anymore. And for me to say that and admit that now, it's actually something that I'm very proud of, because before I would have just pushed everything away, whatever, I deal with it later, and I'm not going to help this person 100%. I would have never put myself first. And that's what I wanted to tell you, is that I did this to you and I was very proud of myself. I said, I'm sorry. I want to help, but right now I need to control my anxiety because it's been triggering all day. And I have to talk this through to myself, and I can help you the next day and the day after that. But I have to do, tomorrow's gonna be for me. I need to do me tomorrow. Take a break, relax, think about whatever. I have to go to work and do my job, and I love what I do. And so I'm gonna do that tomorrow. It's gonna be a me day tomorrow. I want to know nothing about this. And I said, I'm sorry I'm saying this to you so last minute, but I have to think about me first.
Yeah. And I'm so proud of you for doing that, because something that I looked up online about how we can cope with stress. One of those things to cope with stress is that we have to stop taking on things that is not ours. Stop taking ownership of things. That's not our battle. That's not our
Mhm.
thing to fix. So, that is a thing about managing stress. We have to think about what is our battle, what is our problem, and what is not ours. And sometimes, like you, we get roped into things and put smack dab in the middle of these problems. And I was like, I didn't have to be in this, but in the middle of it. So, we do, like, you have to speak up and say, I know I said I was going to help, but this is not something I can do.
Mhm.
That's very important to set the tone of it, because if you don't stop it from the beginning, from the initial, whatever it is that's going on, it's going to get more and more complicated. There are going to be more anxiety, more problems, and probably you're going to get in over your head with trying to help somebody financially.
Mhm. Exactly. And again, I'm not saying I regret extending, my help with, you can stay here, no big deal. You can use this room, and as long as you need it, because we don't know how long it's going to be. And you don't have to worry about anything. Everything will be taken care of. What I didn't, I guess, count on or thought about is that, hey, yeah, you're staying here, but then I'm going to be involved somehow because eventually, I'm going to have to help you navigate this. We're going to go here, we're going to do this, I have to kind of guide you. And sometimes I'm going to have to be, like you said, smack in right in the middle of it. That has
Mm.
nothing to do with me because I offered you my house. And I'm sure that you're thinking I am going to help you on more than just accommodations, right? And so I've been going through that, like battling that part of it. But the other part is that this is, my one of my best friend's daughter. and,
Mm.
and so I feel like I'm betraying, right? My best friend, my best friend's daughter. But at the same time, she said, no, she told me it's okay. Don't worry about it. I understand what you're doing and I appreciate that because, then her grandson has a place to stay and I'm keeping an eye on him, right? So,
Yeah.
but she's like, but then again, I felt like, oh my God, I'm betraying. I'm doing all this, and I should have not take sides. I feel like I'm taking, but I'm not. I don't know. So all of that, Miss Marlene, was creating this turmoil inside of me of, what am I gonna do? Why am I doing this? Why did I put myself in? And then I started regretting. I'm like, I'm not like this, and it's not me, regular me talking. It's my anxiety level that is saying all these crazy things. I am someone that is always helping people and does it with, with grace and with love for others. So what's going on? And then I started going through, oh, I get it. This is very similar to what we went through with our son. His face, his cries, his fears, same thing my son had to experience. So this is closer to home than I even anticipated.
Wow. That's that's overwhelming, Miss Nexie. And
Yes.
that goes in line with the first point that I wanted to talk about, ways that we can cope with stress. And I think that a lot of times we forget, like you said, that we have to still maintain a balanced diet. You
Hmm.
forget to eat.
I
When I'm
forgot to eat.
definitely the person, when I'm stressed, I cannot eat anything. I can't eat anything. I can't. I'm just like,
Exactly. And that's what happened to me today. I didn't even know, Miss Marlene, that I was already stressed, but I forgot to eat all day. I didn't eat
"Mm,
until like probably like 4 o'clock.
no wonder you felt faint."
Yeah. And I was like, and I think that I was, again, it wasn't something like because with our son, it's been so long since all this happened, right? That I wasn't even thinking that that's exactly what I was going to be going through with this. It was going to bring all these memories back. But the biggest thing for me is like hearing him cry, seeing him so distressed that I want to go to my mom's house. I want to see my mom. I want to be, and that is like, oh my God, because my son used to cry like that for me. I want to be with my mom, and he will scream his heart out when he used to be pried out of my hands because the other party had to take, and he will be screaming all the way home because he didn't want to leave me. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, this is exactly why it's getting so personal because I wasn't really doing anything to work on that anxiety, Miss Marlene. I wasn't doing anything. I was just going with everything today. And then I said, oh, whoa, 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 wait a minute. What am I doing? I know this is triggering something and I know kind of what it is. Why am I not addressing that? And that's what I said, Miss Marlene, thank you for this topic because here we go.
Yeah. It's so important, and I'm glad that you really think about it, and not just you, Miss Nexty, but everybody. We need to think about when we're going through situation, whatever it is, stressful situations. I know it's the last thing you want to do is eat. The last thing you want to do is think about, sleeping, and that's another important part of coping with stress, that when you're stressed out, you become very restless. There's insomnia. you just and your mind is going a million miles an hour thinking about how am I going to fix this situation.
Hydrating, Miss Marlene. We forget even about hydration, about drinking. And it's so
Yeah.
important that you stay hydrated because that's when you get all the dizzy, like feeling dizzy, nauseated because you're not hydrating.
Mm. That's one thing, Miss Nexie. I have to tell you that in the summer, I don't have a problem with drinking water because it's hot. But
Hmm.
anytime now that the weather is just starting to cool off just a little bit, it's not even because of stress, but it's just because the weather change. I don't hydrate like I used to because I don't feel thirsty
Yeah,
because I'm
you're,
full of school. So
yes.
that's something that I think everybody has to work on drinking more water.
Hmm. We do.
Yeah, yeah. And this part, Miss Nexie, about coping with stress, um, is not being around people who cause you to have more stress.
Hmm.
We all know those people in our lives that are very, what they call it, dramatic. And we can't stop them from being themselves, but when you're going through whatever it is, highly stressful situations and problems, we have to be careful and cut out people out of our lives that are making us stressed out.
Hmm. Exactly. And that's again, I have been given these tools by my therapist from a long time ago. And I have been very good at making those choices and the differences between okay, this person creates this feeling on me, so I got to stay away. This particular place brings certain memories and is triggering, so I'm gonna stay away. But here I just dove in like oh, no big deal, of course I can do this. I'm superwoman, I can do it, I can help you, I can. But I didn't stop think, hey, wait a minute, maybe there's going to be a lot more from this, and think of, okay, if that happens, how am I going to deal with it, right? Preparing myself. I didn't. The time that was given to me from it's gonna happen this day. I'm gonna arrive this day because that's when we're gonna go seize the child and whatever. That time was less than a week, right? It was okay. I'm gonna be there this day, and I'm gonna happen this day, and I'm like, okay, 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 okay. So I didn't have time to kind of step back and say, okay, wait a minute, what does this imply? I'm
Wh-
helping this person, right?
How,
What is this?
how
Uh-huh.
much am I going to be involved?
Yes, yes, exactly, Miss Marlene. Like, what does this imply? How much am I gonna be asked to be involved? I didn't even think about that, Miss Marlene. I didn't. I just, yes, of course, no problem. Yes, I'm here. I'm available. But
Yeah.
again, sometimes the way we use our children to hurt one another is despicable. And what we're creating in this little one's minds are what you and I are dealing with now, all this stress, all this anxiety, and all these other things that were given to us by our parents sometimes, but we
Yeah.
didn't even know about. Or these anxieties, there's a reason why we have them, we feel them, and we have suffered them. And so, like, I told him, I said I have to take a break because I was already feeling like, okay, I'm getting my little guy back in a couple of days. I'm gonna see if I can extend it and say, hey, can you keep him until next week? Because I still have these people here, right? I'm gonna see if that happens. And then, Miss Marlene, they're coming in the middle of me working on my house.
Oh no.
So I had to stop. They did the roof, but nothing else has been able to be done because they're here. And for that
Mm.
to happen, I have to move to one side of the house so they can work on it. we're gonna have to do this for 30 days. The guy did tell me that it's gonna be at least 30 days to 60 days when you're gonna have to be living on one side. We're gonna be working on that other side, and then all the noise, all the dust, all the thing, and then after that you have to move to the other side. So you have to move things that you use every day, that you need every day, because they're gonna close the house, right? And so I had to tell them stop. So they left the bathroom halfway.
Wow.
Ugh. So all of that, again, it wasn't like something that was planned. I was already working on my house. He had not said, "Hey, it's gonna happen this day." They told him within like a week or so, "Hey, it's happening next week." So he had to move fast too. And he's like, "I feel so bad because I'm imposing on you and you're working on your house. So I hope it's okay." And I'm like, just I already said yes, so let's do this.
Come on. It's just come on, do
Yep,
it. But also in the midst of that, Miss Nexie, just like everybody who's listening, whatever circumstance you find yourself in, you do have to take care of yourself, and that is what most of us are not doing. Taking care of yourself, like sleeping, um, and this is a very important thing, is doing things for yourself, showing up for you, whatever that looks like for you, because everybody is different. For me, it's going for a walk and taking time to just be by myself so that I can think about nothing. It's not,
exactly.
oh, let me go for a walk so I can think about my problems. No, I want to go for a walk so I can focus on the beauty of nature
Yes.
and some things, but not my problems.
Not I want to go out because I need to get out before I explode. Another thing, I get home even when my little guy is here, the sitter's still here. So I get home, I go into my room, I desensitize for like a 30-minute little break just for me. I grab, sometimes I bring either something from work, a cup of coffee or a tea or something, because I've been drinking a lot of tea now, Miss Marlene, as of late. I've been having my teas. And I sit in my room, I desensitize, I turn off my phone from work, I watch a little something on TV, or sometimes I just turn on relaxing music, and I just let it be. And then, after 30 minutes, it's hey, it's time for me to go. I come out, but I have already worked on taking off the day so that I can dedicate the rest of the night to my son, right? And
Right,
I can be okay with, because sometimes I haven't even slept. So I'm okay with, okay, I'm okay. I'm awake now. You can go and then stay at least 4 to 5 hours here with him and then put him to bed and then go to bed myself finally. But I haven't been able to do that for the past week because I've been so like they've been working on the house. So they come super early in the morning. And so even if I get home at 6 and I want to sleep for an hour, they here or two, they're here by 7 barking and doing blah, blah, blah. And so I
doing
really
the
haven't been
bang
able to rest.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been
Hmm.
able to I haven't been resting for the past week or so. And the roof takes a lot of work and a lot of noise. And so I've been going to work only half days, and I'm sleeping maybe an hour or two, and then I'm here with them because you have to be here waiting for them because they have questions. They got to show you certain things, so you have to be available, right? You cannot say, "You know what, they're here, I'm going to go to bed, I'm going to put my headphones and forget about them." You can't, because
Hmm.
either they're knocking on the door, "Hey, can you come? I want to show you something." "Oh, what about this? Look, we want to do this. I was going to do it this way, but now it's going to be this way." And you're like, "Oh, okay. It does it affect in any way?" "No, it doesn't. I just wanted to let you know." "Okay." And then, "Is this the right shape? Right? This is the one you wanted?" "Yes." So I have been working with them the entire week, Miss Marlene, that I haven't slept. And then this comes. They just finished their roof yesterday. And then they finished at 2 and they show up at 5 o'clock. So I'm like, oh my God.
Ooh,
And
wow.
we left at 7:30 this morning, and you know, drop him off, doing this, doing that, and then picking up. And I'm like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Miss Nestle, you really do need to take a vacation, just like many of us. When it comes to talking about coping with stress, sometimes it's that you want to relax, and some people think, oh, okay, you were off today or something, so you should be good. But going home is a lot of us center and hub for stress.
Exactly.
It's like it's like mom or dad or this person or that person, somebody getting on your nerves. So not all the time your home is your place of peace.
No, exactly, Miss Marlene. It is not. We get home and it's time for certain parties, right, to take a shower. And it's a fight because they are not dirty and they don't smell and it's not their day. It's tomorrow. And then you have to fight and
Miss
explain that it's
Nexie,
today.
Miss Nexie, and for some, it's not something that's necessary.
Exactly. So our day of stress actually only stress free lasts only the ride home from work
Yeah.
or work from home. Like it just those few minutes that you're okay, stress free, relax, and then you come in, you're like, oh no, I remember I gotta give so and so a shower, I gotta do the hair and I gotta do the nails and I get
Yeah.
and it starts all over again. But when you are home alone, you have those times where you say, look, honey, sit here, play with this for a minute, give me 10 minutes for myself. I need this 10 minutes. You can do that. But when
Mhm.
a stranger is in your house, that you don't have that, trust or that, kind of like
You don't know them like
you
that.
don't know them like that. It's kind of difficult for you to go there and say, "Look, you're stressing me out." Like whatever. Like today, I just said, "You know what? I'm up to here, so I need tomorrow. Like I can't do this." And he was like, "Okay, okay. I'm so sorry." I said, "No, it's okay. It's not you. It's me. I need this." Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I'm okay. I know where to go now. So I'm okay. I'm like, okay, good, because I am not.
Yeah, and that's the thing about coping with stress is that we need to give ourselves that permission to relax, whatever that looks like. Going for a walk, a jog, favorite activity, playing video games, doing something that's for you.
Hmm.
Hanging out with a good friend. For my favorite thing is, and I know it's something you love too. I can spend all day at the spa, all day. I could be there
Ah,
literally 8 hours at the spa, like
yes.
whirlpool, the steam room, get a
Oh.
massage, get my eyebrows done,
Get
and
a
and get a
facial, get your
yeah.
nails. Oh,
And here in Florida, when they have a place where you can get a massage while you're looking at the beach. So that's
wow.
one of my favorite things. Like,
That's
I'm
gonna be
like,
one of my favorites.
yeah. I was like, yes, we're gonna do that. And now that it's the season where it's not gonna sound nice, but this is the season where it's less noise because all the kiddos are in school, which is my happiest.
Your happiest season.
Go to the spa on the beach because kids aren't screaming at the top of their lungs. I was like, your time is back, Marlene. I was like, you got your time back.
There is one spa here that I like to go to. I haven't been in a few months, but I like to go there because it's a 24-hour spa. And they have everything, Miss Marlene, from a little cave of Himalayan salt where you can just go in there and it's warm, to
Mm,
warm rocks where you can lay if you want to, massages any type, any kind, any time duration, whatever. And Then they have nails, they have facials, they have everything, and it's open 24/7.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am. And I love it. I love going there, but I haven't been in a few months. And right now, it's a matter of fact, I was thinking like I need to do something fun like that again, even if it's just by myself. Just go there and get myself lost for 24 hours.
Mhm. Miss Nexie, I literally could think about the time when I want that massage and stuff. It's usually like 2 or 3 in the morning. So having places like that, that's wonderful that you have that.
Yeah, and it's not far from me. But it's funny because I didn't think of vacations or anything like that I needed them right away until the roof started to get done. And then all this noise and all this chaos and the need for me to be here and having to modify my schedule and juggle my little guy. He was here for part of it, and then I dad is like, I'm picking him up. I'm like, thank God for please take him, because he was like, it's noisy, it's too much. I'm like, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. And then dust and this, and they covered it, but a lot of when they're hammering up there, a lot of it falls down. He has, so all of that, I'm like, oh my God, I really need to go and get a massage or get a facial, and then just lay there and let them work on my face.
Yes, Miss Nexie, I completely agree. And this is something that a lot of people don't think about when it comes to coping with stress. You have to connect with a strong social support network, people who understand you, they get you, they listen to you, they'll let you vent, or they'll give you good advice and support. And we all need that. And it's not just that automatically falling back and saying it's your family. It's not
Mhm.
going to be your support network. You may have to go and find people to be that support network.
Yeah, because family is more like, okay, yeah, you're stressed. Okay, whatever. So anyway, so let me tell you what my problem is.
Yeah.
Oh, you need a few minutes alone? Okay, I'll be right here sitting down in at the edge of the bed. I'm not gonna make any noise. I'm just gonna be here giving you your moment. Blink when you're ready so I can tell you what happened to me today. Right? You need time. Okay, let me drive you. No, no, listen, I need time for me, like from away from you.
Mhm.
And then I feel guilty because I'm like, I offered. I feel like I'm being so such a horrible hostess. I'm like, I offer my house. Of course, I didn't think it was gonna be worked on. This was gonna happen when this is going on, and I have to stop everything. And it's not his fault. But then I feel guilty because I'm complaining about it, and I'm feeling all this, negative feelings and this anxiety. And I'm like, what kind of person am I? I offered, and he took the deal, and I'm being now thinking of me only, like, what's going on, what's wrong with me? So I'm feeling guilty that I'm being such a horrible hostess, and that I'm being like selfish because I was the one who offered, right? And now I'm complaining. So I don't know, it's just ah,
Miss Nick, that you are just like how I used to be a few years ago. You have to say, this is what I did. I offered to help somebody. That's what I'm doing. But I don't have to be there 100%. This is not my kid. This is not, this is somebody
yep.
that I'm helping, and this is how I'm helping. And then
Mhm.
that's it. You got to wash your
Yeah,
hands of this is I
exactly.
your place to say I didn't say I was gonna, be
Be the
all in with,
chauffeur.
yeah. No. You say I'll help you one time, or we can talk from time to time, but I don't want to know the extra details. And I would tell him this, Miss Nexie, if I was you. The extra details is going to lead me to have more stress. So I would just appreciate it if you just don't tell me every little thing that's going on
Yeah.
because
No, we make
absorb.
that clear the first day. I said I don't want to know anything because this is my friend's daughter, and I'm helping you as an extension of for her, like an olive branch for her. Like, okay, you can stay here. I can keep an eye on the little one, meaning that he's okay, that he's not suffering so much. And but other than that, the case I want to know nothing about. That's between
Hmm.
you guys because I'm stuck in the middle of these two people and I don't want to because I love them both. And again, it's that guilty feeling, but I think it's because I was so stressed out. You remember last week, Miss Marlene, I was so stressed out with all of this. We gotta wait. They told me first, we're gonna start on Tuesday and by Friday we're gonna be done. And then they said, no, we're not. We're gonna be done probably until next week with the roof only. And then I'm like, okay, fine. And then I'm like, okay, good. Then we're on track, we're on time. And that I was already saying, okay, I'm gonna have a few days off so that I can relax, and then the roof is done, and then we can start the next project. But then this other project came on, and I'm like in the middle of chaos with more chaos.
Yes.
Ugh.
And this is so important, Miss Nexie, in talking about coping with stress. We need to find ways to distress ourselves, like relaxation techniques, deep breathing, meditation, physical activity, talking with people that will understand us. And this is an important thing that I never thought about, that I'm glad that I read this information online. It says limiting ourselves from watching or hearing negative news or social.
Mm.
And I was like, I never thought that that would like really impact you, but if you really think about it, we absorb that.
Hmm.
So you're hearing a lot. If you already are stressed out, the last thing that you need is to be watching negative news or social media or drama because that's gonna heighten your stress even more.
Yeah, and that's the first thing we used to do, right, Miss Marlene?
Hmm.
When come from work, turn on the news, turn on the TV and see what happened through the day or what's going on. And I I don't watch the news. It's been years and years and years and years that I just read highlights of things that I'm interested on, how our country is, how everything is okay. And then I stop at that because sometimes I have followed certain cases that I think I told you before, and I was so stressed out because again it's closer to home for me on certain things, certain topics. So I told you the other day, Miss Marlene, I'm already staying away from YouTube for a lot of the time. I don't go on all the time. I do our sip and chat. I sometimes visit one or two during the week, different people, but then I'm done because I need to do this for now, for me. And I've been sticking to it for me, and that's it. I go back to being supportive for everybody else once I have worked on me, and I'm okay. And I've been
Very
doing
good.
that.
And I'm proud of you for that because that takes a lot of courage, and it means that you got to know your limits and what you're going through and how you feel. Because this right here about limiting negative inputs, it says to take breaks from news, social media, or constant exposure to negative events and things that can be upsetting that bring stress into your life. We really
Hmm.
do limit those things.
We have to, and like I said, this topic goes along with find a way that you can talk about what's going on with someone. Sometimes it cannot be your family, as you said previously said, because they don't understand, and because you're so close to them, they don't respect boundaries. They don't understand them, they don't follow them, and so you have to sometimes find another way to distress. And for me, today's topic was perfect because I'm like, this is great because I'm gonna be able to talk about what's going on, in my life right now, and it's gonna help me get rid of all this anxiety that I have, and it's working. I feel like, okay, it's out of my system, out into the universe, and see what happens.
Yep, now I can calm down.
Yes, it's already out of my system. It's not just in my head, it's out of my mouth to the universe. And then, God, take it from there, please, and help me for the rest of the way.
Yep. And this is very and I never thought about how important it is to develop some mental and emotional strategies. And I was
Mm,
like, mental strategies. Yeah, connecting with people that we can trust. That's very important because how I grew up, not having a lot of people that I could trust with opening up. Like you could tell them, but then they were going to go and blab to everybody all the way down the line. You know what I mean?
hmm
You have to have people that when you tell them that it's going to stay with them, that it's not going to reach all the way around the world. So
exactly.
that part. But actually important part of the strategy is practicing gratitude. This is something that I never thought about when I was looking through my notes from therapy, and this was a strategy that my therapist told me to remind yourself of things that you're grateful for, which can help you to shift your focus away from the negative emotions or the stress that you're dealing with. So, focusing on what are some things that I can be grateful for, not thinking
Mm,
just thinking I'm alive another day. I have good health. I have food to eat. I have a place to live. Y- Thinking about the positive things, ways that you can show gratitude instead of, I wouldn't say complaining, but if
no.
you mind on that, um,
Okay. Okay. Miss
yeah,
Marlene, I gotta do that one right now. I
okay.
gotta then show gratitude. I am grateful that me and my ex-husband and I opted for dealing with the chaos of a divorce by,
Mm,
like, two adults by ourselves without involving the courts and judges and all of this, and exposing our children to being questioned and who you want to stay with, or putting them through an advocate that was going to speak for them, or that we were going to traumatize them that way. I am grateful that we were mature enough and adult enough to say, hey, we can do this without going that route, no matter how long it takes us. We're gonna do it, we're gonna solve it, and we're gonna leave our kids unscathed. They're gonna
that,
hurt because we're separated, but we're not gonna traumatize them by putting them through this whole ordeal and having their future in the hands of others. I'm grateful for that. By seeing this case right now with this young man and his kid, and the other side of the coin, I am very grateful that we did it that way.
yeah. I'm grateful because I'm sure you stopped your children from being scarred,
Yep. Yes,
having a lot
ma'am.
of, yeah.
A lot of trauma.
Like,
So that will be, thank you for saying that, because then I am very grateful for that. And thank you, because that's a new technique that I've learned today with you.
"Well, that's not for me. I can't take that credit. I paid for that. That's therapy.
Hey,
The-
you pay for it, it's yours, girl. You can claim it, Miss Marlene. You paid for it, so it's yours.
Yeah, I paid for it, so yeah, it is mine. But I love to give credit where credit is due. When my therapist told me that, because I was, how you can go off on this tangent. This isn't right in my life. this isn't right, this isn't right, this isn't right, this isn't right. And you could go on and on like almost your whole therapy session. And
Mm-hmm.
like 5 minutes before we ended, and she looked at me and she's like, Marlene, what are you grateful for in your life? I was like, took the deflated that balloon real quick.
That's what
Well,
just happened to me.
it's like, well, I was like, grateful. I could not think of anything, Miss Nexie. Like,
My God.
and I know that's terrible, but it's the truth. In that
No, you
moment,
weren't healed. So
yeah,
there's no way you could have done that.
I was just in this zone of focusing, and this happened to me, and this happened, and they did that, and how dare they, and they, and they, and they, and they. And she was
Yes,
like, oh,
ma'am.
she was like, okay, I understand that, Marlene. I'm very upset. But well, what you're grateful for? I'm like, what are you talking about?
I ain't got nothing to be grateful for. Did you hear the previous hour? They did this. They did.
Yeah, but it's good. That's good work, healing work, is to remind yourself from time to time when you're stressed out. I like to take a deep breath, and like my therapist says, you have to give yourself a visualization picture, like somewhere that you take your mind when you're stressed out. So I take
Mhm.
a deep, and then I can see myself on uh this beautiful scenery, like I'm on a beach or with a mountain view or something, a lake or something, and it's just quiet and peaceful, and I just focus on those beach sounds and the breeze and hearing the birds, and then I get calm again because
Mhm.
going through a stressful situation, your mind will go to some crazy places and you won't be thinking rationally. And when you're stressed out, you can make some very bad decisions
It makes
that
it
can
worse.
end your life. Yeah, yeah,
Thank you, Miss Marlene, for having me, and thank you for helping me today. I'm telling you, I was just like going like a million miles an hour in my head. My poor little brain is so tired. I because I haven't slept, so I just want to go to bed. But I know that I can because they're waiting for me outside, and I'm like, I don't want to go outside. I want to stay in my room.
right?
But I have to go out there and be a host. So ah, I'm sorry that I have to cut it short today.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't short because we just made the hour.
Oh my
So,
God, really?
yeah, just
Wow.
made the, yeah.
Well,
Oh,
I'm grateful for that then. I'm gonna be using that from now on. Even though this is negative, I am grateful for this.
yeah, even though I say it with an attitude, Miss Lexi,
I-
grateful I have a house. Grateful.
I'm grateful I'm paying for this stupid cable because I need it and this internet but I'm grateful that I have the money to pay for
Grateful I'm not eating peanut butter and jelly.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay, now I really okay, Miss Marlene, we have to be serious now. Okay, this is a serious conversation. I haven't had a laugh all day, so this is beautiful. Thank you, Miss Marlene. And thank
you're
you,
welcome.
chat, for listening to my rambling and not running away from Miss Marlene's channel because of me.
Yeah, they're not running away. See, anybody who keeps coming back to this channel, they appreciate the madness.
Oh, Nate is in the house.
Yeah, it's the
He
madness.
brings all the madness.
Nate, realist, serious. They all
Oh,
know. They
hi,
all know,
Nate. Hi,
and they
realist.
way. So yeah,
Hi, serious.
yeah.
Hi, party planner. Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I wasn't looking at my screen. I was just blabbering the whole time. But thank you, Miss Marlene, for having me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity in your platform to voice my opinions, my life, like reality of my life and my craziness. And I appreciate it because you helped me distress today and make me realize that is that I'm not crazy and I'm not, wrong. That's normal to feel this way sometimes. And I appreciate you and I appreciate everyone that comes and follows you. So hit the like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and leave a comment on the replay.
Yeah, yeah, and I always got to give a shout out to all my amazing mods. And if they're content creators, go check out their channel, Realist and Nate. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll visit. Okay. Okay. See you guys next week.
See you
Bye.
next week, everyone. Bye. Have a wonderful evening and a great weekend.
Bye bye.
Bye.